How to get over a harsh breakup from a narcissist. You survived them. Now you transform and beat them. Introduction. You walked out of the fire. No one understands your breakup unless they've lived it. To the outside world, it might look like just another relationship that didn't work out. Maybe friends told you to move on already. Maybe people implied you were being dramatic. Maybe even you started to question whether it was really that bad. But you know the truth. You weren't just dealing with a selfish partner. You were dealing with someone who played with your mind the way a gambler plays with dice, rolling you, throwing you, testing how far they could push before you snapped. They studied your heart so they could use it. They mirrored your soul so they could control it. They turned your love into a leash. You didn't leave a relationship. You escaped a psychological war. That's why you feel so strange now. It's why a part of you misses them, even though you know they were poison. It's why your body still reacts to their name, why your nervous system jumps when your phone lights up, why your mind replays arguments at 2 a.m. You aren't weak. You're detoxing. This audiobook is not about blaming yourself for staying. It's not about diagnosing the narcissist to death, memorizing all the labels and subtypes. You've done enough Googling. You already know the terms: love bombing, gaslighting, triangulation, hoovering, discard. You get it. This is about what comes next. You survived them. Now we build the version of you that not only heals, but becomes so centered, so powerful, so aware, that anyone who even smells like them never gets past hello. You don't just get over them. You upgrade yourself so completely that they become a dark, distant chapter in a story with a brilliant second act. You are not here to cry over their new supply, stalk their social media, or rehearse conversations that will never happen. You are here to understand what really happened to your mind and heart. Break the trauma bond that still pulls on you. Rebuild your identity from the inside out. Transform pain into power. Design a comeback life they never deserved to witness. You survived the fire. Now we forge the steel. Chapter 1. It wasn't just a breakup. Understanding the damage you can't heal something you're still minimizing. A breakup with a narcissist hits you on multiple levels at once: emotional, constant highs and lows; mental, confusion, self-doubt, obsessive thoughts; physical, exhaustion, anxiety, insomnia, tension; spiritual, identity, questioning who you are and what you deserve. In a normal breakup, two people simply realize they're not compatible. It hurts, but the pain is clean. You can still trust your memories. You can still believe the love was real, even if it ended. With a narcissist, the pain is dirty. You question everything. Did they ever love me? Was any of it real? How could someone say those things and act that way? How did I let it get this bad? You feel embarrassed for falling for it, guilty for staying, and ashamed for still wanting them at times. That's not normal breakup grief. That's abuse fallout. Narcissists don't date, they extract. They don't connect, they conquer. They don't apologize, they reframe. First, they love bomb you. They study your insecurities, your dreams, your values, and then reflect the perfect partner back at you. They future fake, talk of marriage, trips, houses, children, business plans. They make you feel chosen, special, finally understood. Then slowly they twist. They devalue you with criticism disguised as honesty. They chip away at your confidence. They make you doubt your memory, your perceptions, your worth. They pull away affection, then give it back unpredictably, training you like a lab rat pressing a lever for crumbs. When it's over, you're not just sad, you're disoriented. So let's start with this truth. You were not crazy. You were conditioned. What you feel right now is not weakness. It's a natural reaction to unnatural treatment. Chapter 2. Why they chose you. The truth about your strength. One of the most brutal lies you absorbed is, I must be weak for this to have happened to me. No. Narcissists don't chase empty shells. They chase full hearts. They are drawn to people who love deeply and stay loyal. People who see potential and want to help people who are empathetic and understanding. People who are willing to work on themselves. People with qualities the narcissist secretly envies: warmth, generosity, creativity, stability, intelligence. They targeted you because you are special, not because you're broken. They saw your ability to endlessly forgive as an opportunity. They saw your high standards for yourself as a weapon they could twist against you. They saw your fear of hurting others as a door they could walk through anytime they wanted. Listen carefully. They chose you as supply because you are valuable. That value did not disappear just because they dropped you. You still possess the loyalty, the depth, the courage, and the capacity to love that attracted them in the first place. The difference is that, after this transformation, you will no longer hand those qualities to people who treat them like disposable toys. You are not weak. You are powerful and temporarily wounded. Chapter 3. The Trauma Bond. Why you still miss them. One of the most confusing parts of this kind of breakup is that you miss them even though they were awful. You remember the good moments with intense longing, the early love bombing, the late-night talks, the private jokes, the chemistry, the times they held you or said exactly what you wanted to hear. The mind clings to these moments like a life raft and conveniently blurs out the rest. This is the trauma bond. A trauma bond forms when someone gives you intense affection, connection, and attention, suddenly withdraws it or turns cold, cruel, or distant, then rewards you unpredictably with affection again. Your nervous system becomes addicted to chasing the high of getting them back. Every time they withdraw, you panic. When they return, you feel relief so powerful it feels like love. At a chemical level, your brain starts to confuse anxiety, relief with intimacy. That's why breaking up feels like withdrawal from a drug. You're not missing them. You're missing the relief from anxiety when they were good for a moment, the fantasy version you believed in, the person they pretended to be when you want to text them. Remember this: you are craving the high, not the reality. The reality was nights you cried, words that sliced you apart, confusion that eroded you, silent treatments that felt like death. The sooner you can separate the fantasy from the facts, the faster the bond breaks. Chapter 4. No contact, closing the door. They keep kicking open. Healing requires boundaries so strong they feel unnatural at first. Narcissist recovery content online all says the same thing: go no contact. And they're right. But no one explains why it's so hard. No contact is not just about blocking their number. It's about stopping the mental negotiations, cutting off access to the drug that keeps you hooked, refusing to re-enter the cycle of love bombing, devaluation, discard. Every time you answer just one text, check their page, or ask mutual friends about them, you feed the trauma bond. You restart the withdrawal clock. No contact feels brutal because your body is detoxing from the chemical cycle, but it is the most loving thing you can do for yourself. Here's what no contact looks like in real life. You block them on everything: phone, social media, email. You delete old conversations and photos that keep triggering you. You stop driving by places where you might accidentally see them. You ask mutual friends not to share updates. You remind yourself every day, I am not starving for crumbs anymore. If you share kids, property, or work, no contact becomes low contact through channels you control. You keep communication short, factual, emotion-free, and ideally through text or email only. No late-night calls, no personal topics, no defending yourself. The narcissist will test these boundaries. They will hoover back with apologies and "I've changed" speeches, play the victim act like nothing happened, try to bait you into fights so they feel powerful again. Expect it, don't be shocked by it, and stay steady. No contact is not cruelty. It is self-rescue. Chapter 5. How they react when you finally pull away to truly let go. It helps to understand what's happening on their side, not to obsess over them, but to kill the fantasy once and for all. When you take away their access, narcissists typically react in stages. Stage 1. Shock and ego injury. They are not sad that they lost love. They are offended that their supply dared to become unavailable. They may act confused or outraged. They thought you'd always be there as their emotional backup battery. Stage 2. Hoovering. They test your boundaries by sending nostalgic messages. Late night, I miss you. I've been thinking about us, fake apologies that contain blame. I'm sorry if you felt hurt. The goal is not to fix the relationship, but to prove they can still pull your strings. If you respond, they win. If you ignore, they escalate. Stage 3. Replacement and smear campaign. When hoovering fails, they often scramble to replace you quickly. They may flaunt the new person on social media, exaggerate how happy they are, or create a fake fairy tale as revenge. At the same time, they start telling people, they were crazy, they were abusive, I did everything and it was never enough. This is not about truth. It's about image control. Stage 4. Quiet monitoring. Even after they seem over it, they will often stalk you from a distance, fake accounts, mutual friends, or just checking once in a while. They want to make sure you aren't thriving more than they are. Your power move? Live a life that no longer orbits around them. Let them watch you heal, grow, and transform from far, far away with no access. Chapter 6. Reclaiming your voice and your reality. Gaslighting is one of the most damaging aspects of narcissistic abuse. It slowly convinces you that your memory is unreliable, your reactions are crazy, your feelings are invalid, your interpretations are always wrong. Over time, you stop trusting yourself. To heal, you must rebuild your internal authority. You do this by validating your own perception. Write down specific incidents, what happened, what was said, how you felt. As you see the patterns on paper, you realize, yes, this really occurred. I'm not imagining it. Stopping the self-doubt spiral. When you catch yourself thinking, maybe I overreacted, ask, what would I tell a friend if they described this exact situation? You would probably call it unacceptable, telling the truth out loud, to a therapist, friend, journal, or even to yourself in the mirror. What they did was unfair. It hurt me. I didn't deserve that. Replacing their voice with yours. When their criticism echoes in your head, you consciously answer it. They say, you're nothing without me. You respond, I was someone before you, and I'm becoming even more after you. You are not crazy. You were convinced to doubt your sanity. Reclaiming your voice is how you begin to trust your mind again. Chapter 7. Grieving. The person they pretended to be you aren't just grieving a breakup. You are grieving a character someone played. The version of them who listened to your dreams, made you feel like you were meant to be, showered you with affection, shared vulnerable stories, matched your hobbies and tastes. That version was built for you, like a custom costume. Once they had you hooked, the costume slipped and the real personality came out. Critical, cold, dismissive, controlling, selfish. The grief you feel is valid because the happiness you experienced at first was real to you, even if it was manipulated by them. Allow yourself to grieve. The future you planned, the years you invested, the version of yourself you lost. The belief that love was safe. You do not have to rush this. But as you grieve, remember, you are mourning a movie, not a marriage, a performance, not a partnership. Once that illusion is buried, the real healing begins. Chapter 8. Rebuilding self-worth from zero. A narcissist attacks whatever makes you valuable and confident. They say, you're overreacting. You're too sensitive. No one else would put up with you. You're lucky I'm even with you. You're not as attractive, smart, successful as you think. After enough repetition, you start repeating those lines to yourself. Self-worth drops. You begin to settle for anything that feels like connection, even if it hurts. Rebuilding self-worth after this isn't about standing in the mirror and chanting, "I love myself," when you don't believe it yet. It starts smaller and deeper. You rebuild by keeping promises to yourself. Each time you say, "I'm done answering their messages," and you follow through, your self-respect grows. Each time you choose rest over punishing yourself, your worth rises. Tracking your wins, even tiny ones. I went one whole day without checking their profile. I spoke up when someone crossed a line. I did something kind for myself today. Surrounding yourself with reality-based people. Friends, therapists, support groups, or mentors who see you clearly and remind you of your strengths without manipulation. Doing things you're good at. As the narcissist fades, you rediscover your talents. Writing, fitness, art, business, learning, parenting, anything. You remember, I am more than what they said about me. Self-worth is built through repeated experiences of self-respect. Every time you act like someone who deserves better, you begin to believe it. Chapter 9. Reprogramming your beliefs about love. If you aren't careful, this breakup can contaminate your view of love forever. You might start to believe all relationships are manipulative. Love always hurts. If someone adores me, it's probably a trap. I attract toxic people. I can't trust my judgment. These beliefs protect you temporarily, but they will imprison you if you keep them. Healthy love exists. But to find it, you must reprogram what your nervous system interprets as normal and exciting. Right now, your body may interpret chaos as passion, anxiety as chemistry, stability as boredom, kindness as suspicious. This is common after narcissistic abuse. The antidote is conscious retraining. When someone is consistent and kind, you tell yourself, "This is what safety feels like." When someone plays games or gives you mixed signals, you tell yourself, "This is what danger feels like." You practice staying with calm people and stepping back from unpredictable ones, even if your old patterns pull you the other way. You deserve a love that does not require you to abandon yourself. Chapter 10. Turning pain into fuel, the comeback blueprint. Now we shift from survival to transformation. You went through hell. You're not going to waste that. Your experience can either hard destroy you or harden you into a wiser, stronger, more awake version of yourself. Here is your comeback blueprint. 1. Define your North Star. Who do you want to become because of this? More confident, more independent, more financially stable, more emotionally regulated, more selective with people? Write a statement. Because of what I went through, I am becoming a person who, 2. Build one non-negotiable habit. Healing sometimes feels abstract, so you anchor it in action. Maybe it's a daily walk, journaling, therapy, meditation, reading instead of stalking their page, working on a project that matters to you. This habit is not about productivity. It's about proving to yourself that life is moving forward. 3. Upgrade your environment. You can't heal in the same setup that broke you. 4. Create a no more list. Write down behaviors you will never tolerate again. Silent treatments, name-calling, mocking your feelings, cheating, constant criticism, walking on eggshells. This list is not about the narcissist. It's about future you. Chapter 11. Dating again without repeating the pattern. You don't need to rush into dating, but the thought of it might scare you. You wonder, what if I attract another narcissist? What if I can't trust anyone? What if I've been permanently damaged? You haven't been ruined. You've been trained. Now you retrain. Signs you're ready to date again. You no longer stalk the narcissist or fantasize about their return. You can talk about what happened without spiraling. You feel more curious than desperate about new connections. You are willing to walk away at the first major red flags. When you do date, Move slower than you think you need to. Watch actions, not words. Notice how you feel in your body around them. Keep your friendships and hobbies active. Don't collapse your world into the new person. If someone pushes your boundaries early, take that as a loud no, not a challenge. Remember, the goal is not to find someone to fix what they broke. The goal is to build a life so full that anyone who shows up has to meet you at the level you've created. Chapter 12. Spiritual and Emotional Meaning. Making Sense of the Story. It's natural to ask, why did this happen to me? What was the point of all this pain? You don't have to spiritually bypass by calling abuse a blessing, but you can decide what meaning you pull out of it. Some possibilities. It woke you up to how powerful your empathy is and how it needs boundaries. It forced you to finally confront old wounds from childhood and heal them. It pushed you into therapy, growth, and self-discovery you'd been postponing. It showed you exactly what kind of energy you never want in your life again. It carved out depth, compassion, and wisdom you will use to help others. You're allowed to hold two truths at once. It should not have happened, and you will make sure it was not for nothing. That is how you beat them on a spiritual level, not by revenge, but by refusing to let their darkness define your future. Chapter 13. Your New Identity. The person they will never meet again. You are not the person who first met them. That old version of you. Ignored red flags, over-explained, begged to be believed, accepted apologies without change, blamed themselves for everything, believed they needed to earn love. That person did their best with the tools they had. You don't need to hate them. You thank them for surviving. But your new identity is different. You listen to your gut the first time you treat your nervous system as sacred. You walk away from disrespect without giving a TED Talk. You know your worth is not up for debate. You know that your love is a gift, not a weakness. You become someone a narcissist can't stand because they can't control you, guilt you, or confuse you. You become emotionally unavailable to toxicity. That is how you truly beat them, by upgrading beyond their reach. Chapter 14. Closing the book. You win by living. There will come a day when you wake up and they are not your first thought. A day when you can't quite remember the sound of their voice. A day when you see an old photo and feel nothing but distance. That day is coming. Not because time magically heals all wounds, but because you are actively healing them. By choosing no contact, by reclaiming your reality, by grieving what you lost, by rebuilding your self-worth, by upgrading your standards, by transforming your pain into purpose, you survived them. Now you are outgrowing them. You win every time you enjoy a quiet, peaceful day without drama, laugh for real with people who love you. Make choices based on your values, not your fears. Look in the mirror and recognize yourself again. The chapter of them is closed. The story of you is just getting interesting. Final message, from survivor to conqueror. Listen carefully. You are not broken. You are not unlovable. You are not too damaged. You are not doomed to repeat this. You are wiser, stronger, more conscious, more capable, more discerning, more powerful. What they tried to destroy in you is exactly what you will now amplify. Your empathy, your depth, your tenderness, your passion, your ability to care. Except now, you will aim those gifts at people who deserve them and toward the life you are building for yourself. You survived a harsh breakup with a narcissist. That alone proves your resilience. Now, your mission is simple. You survived them. Now, you transform. Now you beat them, not by hurting them, but by healing so completely that they no longer matter. And from this moment forward, your life belongs to you again.